I created a script where now you can actually automate your Google Ads negative keywords. And this is not like a script that we've seen out there. This is actually using broad, exact, and phrase match in order to focus on the keywords that you actually want to focus on. When you're running a standard shopping campaign, Google pretty much takes the feed and the title and the description and the landing page in order to determine where to actually ultimately show up. But now with this script, you can actually control where you show up. And so let me show you the results that I've been able to get by using this strategy where I'm doing heavy negatives in a max clicks campaign and then tacking on top of that a performance max campaign. So it's this two-step feeder strategy that I walked through before in my other video here, but it's taking this search campaign strategy and pretty much using it on a standard shopping and PMAX campaign. And so I took over these campaigns on September 13th and have been running it since then. And the goal was to get above a 3x. And before then, they were getting about a 1.36x. And now they're getting a 3.91x. Now, this is a very, very low spend account. I wanted to test this and see how this would work. And the only difference that I made in order to get these better results was doing heavy, heavy negatives in this campaign using this automated script. So this actually probably saved me, if I was doing this manually, probably about 20 hours in the last several weeks. And so this is a really phenomenal way to get really good results, but also spend less time. And so what I did was I took these keywords here. Unfortunately, it'll be blurred out, but I'm telling Google, I want to focus on these keywords only. And so it's going to go in and pretty much put negatives for anything that are not these keywords and based off of my match type. So I'm using broad, phrase, and exact. I'm not using exact here at all, but you can actually leverage exact. I've seen scripts out there that can do exact match and you can focus on that, but I have not seen anything where you can fully put in your control and say, I want to focus on any keyword that contains this and use the broad, phrase, and exact match types from Google Ads. So you can see here in this time frame that I've been able to exclude all of these search terms on the ones that I'm not focusing on. And so it automatically takes out all of these keywords. Again, it's going to be blurred out. I'm sorry, but it's running every single day. Now you can set this to run daily, you can set it to run hourly, or you can set it to run weekly or monthly. And typically when I'm doing a max clicks standard shopping campaign, I at least started out doing it every single hour and running it every single hour automatically. And then I move it down to a daily basis so that we can focus in on that. And so here's how it works. If you want to install this script and get this script, just drop a comment below, let me know, and I will get you a link. So make sure that you do that. If you're looking for a more bigger overview of this strategy, let me know. And so I can just walk through how exactly this works from the standard shopping and PMAX campaign combination to get better results. Okay, so here we are. You're going to get a Google Sheet link and you're going to copy it. And there is a breakdown of all the instructions, the scripts right here, the keyword template, what you want to focus on, and then a match type guide. Sometimes you are trying to take keywords that are larger than 10 words or larger than a certain amount of characters. It will actually start to populate this data here and what the error was, and then you can use that information and apply this to your negative keywords. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you first copy it, then you rename it to the business that you're working with, and then you're going to want to go here to File, Share, Share with Others, and then make sure you select anyone with link, and then copy that link. You'll then go ahead and insert in this red. You'll delete that and insert the Google Sheet link. Then you're going to want to go ahead and input the campaign name here in this column and the search term that you want to focus on, and the match type. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to campaign number 1, just for example, and then I'm going to do search term. Let's do loft. I want a brand campaign to only focus on loft. So I'm actually going to use this as broad match. So anything that contains the word loft, I will want to focus on. So then you can look at this match type guide, make sure that you understand this. Now, Google has changed their broad phrase and exact match to mean more so about the intent versus the actual keyword. Now, with this script, you can actually go after the specific keyword that you want to go after, and more so phonetically how it's spelled and whatnot. So you can see the information here on broad. Broad will exclude all search terms that does not have any of the terms that you specify in any order, but it must contain all of the keywords. So, for example, if you're inputting red pen, what you will show up for these: red pen, pen red, amazing red pen, best pen red. But you will not show up for red eraser because it does not include the word pen. Okay? So, phrase, red pen, we're going after that same keyword. You will show up for red pen or amazing red pen, but you will not show up for pen red, best pen red, red eraser, top pens of 2024. And then exact match will only show up for red pen. Now, this is a really cool script because you can now fully take back control on your standard shopping campaigns, on your search campaigns, and say, I only want to show up for this. I don't care about the meaning. I don't care how Google defines it. I only want to show up for this. And so this is a really good way to start to gain back control. Okay, so I'm going to put in campaign number 2 and red pen. I'm going to do exact match for this. Now, make sure that the campaign name is exactly what you have in your Google Ads account, and then it will apply only to that campaign. Okay, so after you have this good to go, then what you're going to want to do is go back to the first sheet and then click into this box, double click, copy all, and then we're going to want to bring it into our Google Ads campaign. All right, so you'll go over to Tools, Bulk Actions, Scripts, and then you'll click the plus button, New Script. All right, here it is. So you'll want to select all, delete, and then paste this in. And then you'll want to rename the script, so you can just add this name. And then you'll choose Run. Run without preview. Then it's going to come up with Authorize. You're going to have to log back into your Google Ads account, and then you can select Run again. Run without preview, I typically select, and then it's going to apply. Now, I did not use specific campaign names for this, but you can see here that this was successful. And then you can also look at the error log and check that out, and then look over at your change history after you do this and make sure that it's all applying to the right campaigns and whatnot. So one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is that after you have successfully done this, then you can set this up to run at a certain frequency. So you can have it run only once, and then you only do it when you're ready to do it, or you can have it run hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. But here's the thing. I would not recommend just letting this run and not still oversee what is actually happening. Make sure you continue to monitor your search term reports and make sure that it's all applying the right things. You might start to get ideas of, oh, maybe I actually want to include this keyword because it's actually very high intent. This is simply just trying to give Google the most limited amount of options in regards to wasting clicks. And so this is just a good opportunity to do that, but you still have to monitor and see if you can add in some really good high intent keywords after you go ahead and do that. So you can choose hourly. I'm going to select hourly, and then it's going to run. And then this is where you just go on over to campaigns, change history, and then you'll be able to review all of the changes that have happened. So I created this script because ultimately I wanted to try and get my head out of the campaigns, I had the duty for this particular campaign to not spend as much time in it. And so this was a way for me to save time, but get really great results by doing this. And so take back control from Google, start to automate your search term negatives, and see your results increase. So you can see here that I've been able to increase the results from a 1.72 ROAS up to a 6.2 ROAS just by changing this one thing and using this automated negative keyword script. So I made changes here and it impacted here because the PMAX campaign is going after users and audiences and doing a whole lot of remarketing for this shopping campaign. That's why PMAX looks better. I changed nothing in that PMAX campaign. I changed a bunch of things in the shopping campaign and tightened that up. And that's why we're seeing better results. And that's why we were able to meet the goal of 300% ROAS. And so this is a great way to save time, really gain back control, use broad, exact, and phrase match in your negatives. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you want this script. I will send this over to you. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts or anything like that. And make sure you check out this 2-step feeder strategy that we've done on search, and now we've applied it to shopping. Also, let me know in the comments like how your results are. I want to know if you're applying this and how it's going, and just drop me questions. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is Artur McClellan, and I've actually become the guy that agencies hire when they get stuck with your ad account. This is the Google Ads and Meta Ads Strategies podcast and YouTube channel where I actually talk about how to grow your business. These ad platforms are constantly changing, so I not only go through strategies that I'm currently using, but actually challenges that I've faced through many of these ad accounts that I manage. So most of my content, I'm actually sharing my screen and walking through how to practically diagnose and make decisions. So if you're listening on this podcast, make sure you hop over to the YouTube channel so that you can watch along. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a review, subscribe, share so that these platforms push this out to more people who are trying to figure out the complexities of driving traffic and how to actually grow their business.